Welcome back to the Divine Healing channel. I left off kind of abruptly and I never came back, but they were talking about, see how it looks like the wings when see that? Do you see it? They wanted me to show you so that you would understand what I was talking about. So it's cool, right? Anyway, I'm going to get right back into this reading. Okay, everyone, I'm back. I just had to set the camera up. So I hope you got a good view of the wings I was telling you about, how it looks like the wings of a bird or wings of an angel. And I just thought it was so ironic that, sorry, I didn't plug in my microphone. Okay, sorry, I forgot about the microphone. Okay, so Spirit wanted me to come back in and just okay, it was probably about 3:30 or so in the morning when I ended the video. I just couldn't take any more. My back was killing me and my hands were cramping. And I kept getting those Charlie horses in the back of my leg. And then I was getting them all through the night, actually, when I would try to sleep. I was even getting them in the lower calf of my right leg. So it's just been because I've been sitting too long, and that's half the problem with me. I can't sit for long periods. I can't sit for really, I shouldn't be sitting like this at all for any length of time. But I do try to get up and move around a lot and, just try to keep, things from getting too, it's almost like when the muscles start to get cold or stiff. But the weather's changing too, so I always have a much harder time in the fall and in the winter. However, getting off that, but so there's several things that they had asked me to finish cleaning up and discussing before we move on. But they're also asking me, they're also pointing out other things that are going on the table right now. Now, I just kind of left everything last night, and I was just, I just had enough. And they just want me to center. So I'm just going to start with that and get that done really quickly so we can move on, because they just really want me to finish delivering some of these messages. This heart keeps falling down. And then if you make note of, this one has fallen over yet again. And they kind of mentioned to me about how normally I would do my readings and these would be all organized and looking nice or whatever, and they're saying see how messy they are. They just want you to know that life is messy, and that healing does not happen overnight, and that you have to use that perseverance and really it's a commitment to just and really, when you think about it, it's really something just for you. You don't have to you probably feed into everyone else around you. You take care of this person and you take care of that person, and that friend everybody goes to cry on their shoulder, and you're the one that's always there for everybody when they're sick, or bringing them little surprise things, or never forget their birthdays, or whatever it is for you. But do you do that for yourself, is what Spirit's asking. Do you sit down and just really analyze how you're living your life, and are you happy? And if you're not, look in those areas where you're not happy. And the best way to start, the best place to start, they keep telling me, is within, with yourself. When you go in and you spend time there, you learn a lot about yourself. And when you learn things about yourself, you grow. And then they're saying when you know better, you do better. So you can be then a better wife, husband, mother, sister, whatever. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's what they're talking about. So I call upon universe consciousness of the highest realms for the highest good of humanity to work through me Allow me the privilege to channel only for the purest light of Source. Allow me to channel in a way that also serves my highest good. I ask for the universe protection from evil. Why did I say evil? That's weird. I ask the universe protection from negative energies. I call upon Mother Earth Gaia to ground me and connect to Source through me. That was odd that I brought up the word evil. Okay. So, what spirit, okay, they want me to back up just a little here. And they said, this is the card that I was talking about and of how they were in the water. And I thought it was a bride and groom. It's just that he's wearing a white shirt. So I just assumed, you know what I mean? Kind of, anyway, it was an assumption on my part, but I thought that was her dress that was all up around him. But now I realize it's just the sea. Again, it's the ocean or the sea. And that's what everything's been about. So this says the tide of transition. And it says, embrace the ideas of change with openness, allowing the ebb and flow of life to guide your transformation to love and into love and work. So they just wanted me to read that because it was brought up during the, what are they calling this? My Kundalini Journey or something? I can't remember what. Okay, so we already went over the honest one. Okay, so then they wanted to just talk about surrender. And this is where they're talking about this energy. So this is where they want me to just finish up these cards here so that I can move on, they said, because it's been lingering too much here, but it was because I was missing a lot of the information because, like they said, they did do that so that it was really like the messages were so repeated that even like they understand why I was losing track of it. So with that being said, I'm just going to put on the medallion that they asked. Honestly, I still haven't even really slept. I slept maybe a few hours, maybe a little less than that. And so after this reading, from what I can understand, they're going to give me a few days to do a lot of resting. And then I'll see what happens from there. But they do want me to touch base again on the Carol thing. They want me to clarify that as well. And do these cards, and that's it. So I think there's some other things here that they have written. Oh yeah, this is really cool. I was really after I couldn't really go back online last night. I couldn't do any more videotaping. I had to go lay down. I had to rest. I had to get a little bit of something to eat. And so we're just going to quickly talk about Carol. And the reason why I brought that out, you know, it was significant because, well, it's somebody that I love, but then Carol, the healer that I was talking about. So at her shop, I had purchased a stone. I don't know if you can see that on camera. I'm going to make sure that you're still taping. Okay, so I got this stone. And as soon as I saw it in her glass case, I loved it. And I'm just like, I want that. I didn't even hold it or anything. As soon as I saw it, it's like, I love that. I want that. And I just love the feel of it. I love the shape of it. I like holding it. And Jesus kind of hung around with me a little bit yesterday or last night, through the night. And he said to me, he wants to talk about that on a different time. Yeah. He mentioned something to me about an explosion, but that does not mean like an explosion in fire. He just said something's going to, like there's going to be an explosion. And then I wrote social media, maybe. I don't know what that means. Anyway, I don't know. And then they did talk to me a little bit about the word vein. And they basically, I don't want to talk about that tonight either. Okay. So anyway, so I was just kind of trying to unwind and really like, honestly, I was just trying to center and be with my thoughts and just trying to process everything that's been like unfolding the past 4 days or so. And I have gone through these kind of sessions before So I'm kind of familiar with it, but this was just really the way it was all unraveling for me. I was just like, oh my God, that's what that, oh, and that's what that, and oh, and they were like, in my mind's eye, they were showing me like the specific cards when they were talking about things. And I would say, oh, the card, blah, 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 or the card, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So that's what they were doing in my mind's eye. Okay. So Jesus said to me, he goes, you know why you like this so much and why you're so drawn to it? And I'm like, no. And he said, well, just think about it a little bit. So I did. And I'm just kind of rolling. I said, well, I like the feel of it. I like the shape of it. I like holding it. I just really, I don't know. There's just something, I just really love it. And I don't know why. And he said, lay it on a piece of paper. So I did. And he said, just trace it out and see what shape you come out with. And help, my God, look. Can you see that? Look at this shape. So he had me like lay this down like this, right? And then I just took a pen and he just said, go to the very end, like start here and go around and then go around. And then it would just like curl off. And I'm just like, that looks like a fish. He goes, yeah. He goes, look it up. And I found out that it's, I don't know what this word is, ICHTHYS. I don't know how to say that word. It's Greek. And then it came out, it was from the 1st century. And I'm like, there's that number 1 again. They keep bringing out like it's 1% healing, 1st century. But then there was a number 1 in one of the readings too. Something about a 1. They kept pointing out 1. Anyway, and he was like, oh yeah, it's the fish of Jesus or Jesus. So anyway, I wrote down, I looked it up a little bit to see what it was. And like, I kept doing it to see like, is this right? And then I was showing my sister and I was like showing her over here. Anyway. And it says, despite its evolution over time, I don't know, I'm just going to call it Jesus fish, remains a powerful symbol of Christian devotion and a reminder of Jesus's call to spread the gospel of Christ consciousness and his teachings. And you know what? I wrote down that Christ consciousness and I noticed it on one of the videos that I had already uploaded. Where's my book? Oh, I have it in my hand. Oh my God, that was weird. Okay. It's like I totally like zapped out or something. What the hell was that, Spirit? They said they think it's just because I'm getting tired. Oh, well, geez, you think after 4 days it would be. Oh, yeah. They did mention about after I got off the 4-4 has been just like nonstop. So I did look it up and the 4-4 means you are loved. Your angels are sending you love messages that you are loved. Oh, they also wanted to talk about the leg again, too, because they said they didn't know if you caught it, but I had in an old entry, and in between dragonfly and bee, the word leg was there. And they just wanted you to, me to just bring notice to it here. Yeah, they said it was weird on October 17th when I wrote this entry and I didn't know what the word leg meant. And I actually I was like, is it a B? Because I wrote it in between, like I put leg. I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay, so I put like leg in between bee and dragonfly because at the time I thought, oh, are they talking about a leg on one of the bugs? But I don't think they were talking about that. I think they were talking about that symbolism about my leg with the mindful book, and then they were talking about that leg with the card, and they were saying they wanted to bring it out so that it was like in threes now, so you would see like the messages of threes being repeated. And it's like, why are you doing that? And they said because some people are going to be so hard to convince, like to understand that this is not like witchery, is what they said. Okay, again, that must be people that are just so indoctrinate it with the Bible. And, and it's really good that they do like enjoy the Bible, but like they said, you really have to use your discernment. Okay, what else was it oh yeah, they went to talk about the carol thing again, because they were saying that it was significant for a name, also for the loved one that, won't be, I won't see this Christmas. And then it represents all the people that are hurting, that won't have their loved ones with them this year. And it also represents the carol healer person. And then it also represents the Christmas Carol. And I was like, Christmas Carol, which movie is that? And I was asking my sister today, I said, is the Christmas Carol the one that has like, that Jim Carrey redid? And it's like the Christmas, the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future? And she's like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, oh, okay. So when I wrote down Christmas Carol, they were actually referring to that. They just didn't want to talk about that last night. So they were saying that it's the, what is that? The Trinity. So that refers to the Trinity, which is like, I really don't know a lot about the Bible. So for all the people that do, excuse my ignorance in this matter, but, it's basically about the Holy Spirit. And anyway, they just want me, I don't know why they brought this up today, but they said that they wanted me to bring out, I have like a really beautiful nativity scene, and they said that they wanted me to bring out baby Jesus and Mary. And I wasn't sure if that might have been a message that somebody wanted. So I will end up doing that probably later in the week, but I'm just going to rest a little bit. So they, what else did they want to talk about? Okay, they wanted to go back to the carol thing later on, but it's kind of like an in-depth thing. So they wanted that to be like a separate reading and a cliffhanger, as they just said. So, is there anything in this book? Oh, no, just what was current, they said. Okay, they don't want to talk about this yet. And I don't want to talk about the vein thing yet. We did talk about the fish. Yeah, because it's Christ consciousness. Oh, and they said that I had written down somewhere here in the back about Christ consciousness. And they just wanted to me to show you that, because they said they just want to keep showing you how they actually said they wanted me to do this in front of everybody, but because I do have physical limitations, there's only oh yeah, there's a date here, September something here. I don't know where. Oh, there it is. Yeah, they said just keep going. It's back there. Okay. So they want me to show you. Oh, this is where it was about the masters, and I was reading about the masters and the dimensions, but I didn't read all of it. They said there's more for later, but it says right down here where I wrote Christ consciousness. So they want me just to read this. It says the ascension is higher consciousness gaining the heart to unite with all aspects of one's higher self and with source, God energy, or Christ consciousness. And there's 5 key aspects of the ascension, but they don't want to talk about that today. So they want me to finish these cards and then call it, because they know I really need the rest. I keep whacking my knees on this table. Okay, Spirit. So they said that we left off with, okay, they wanted me to talk about the surrender. So the surrender's in reverse, but they said I can release my need to control. Okay, so they said that they'll just talk about that in a second. Okay, so what they wanted me to do is they first wanted me to, they said, this deck comes down here. I just moved it so I could start. But when I was setting out the cards, I set them like this. And I don't really know why I did that. Sometimes my hands just kind of guided to do things, and I don't really know why. And it always ends up being something significant. So I just put my little stacks here. And they said, okay, they said, see this stack? I said, yes. And they said, see where it says make a move? I said, yes. They said, okay, leave the make a move and the whole stack there. I said, okay. And they said, on this side, you'll see perseverance and freedom. So freedom says, I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. And that's where they're talking about that free will again, how it's mind over matter, right? And how you control the thoughts, that you control what you're thinking. So that's basically what they're saying, what your brain is generating, because they want to say that your brain is like a computer and that it's just kind of running rogue. And you have to rein it in, and you have to, you don't have to do anything, but this is a roadmap. They said, they keep using roadmap. This is a roadmap to fast track your healing, to join in with the Christ consciousness, align yourself with God and your passed over loved ones that you love, not ones that maybe mistreated you or whatever. They don't want you to think about that stuff. They don't want you in that kind of thinking anymore. And like they said, it's a process. It's not something that you can transform overnight. You got to persevere. It takes time. And each time it's like, I think the reading even brought up about like steps, like, I think it was a previous reading. They got me to like break things out just to say like, to self-appreciate and like, it's like you're just like 10 steps away. You're almost there, all that kind of stuff. And then it brought up the leg about how some people are already halfway in. So they're saying here that, see how these two piles are on top of transformation, and what's under here? Purpose. It says purpose in reverse. And it says, I know what I am here to do. So because it's in reverse, these are for people that don't understand or haven't had this concept given to them before. So that's what this readings are really about, for people that haven't had this kind of concept. Anyway, so they're saying, see how the cards are like halfway? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, okay, do you see how it says deny and try again? And I said, yeah. And they're like, okay, so it says acceptance, so that I'm trying to accept the things that I cannot change. So you're trying to like just accept things for the way they are and just heal from them. And then it has love in reverse. And it says, I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. And that's what they're talking about, that mindfulness. But here they're saying it's like half the people are in this acceptance and they're not trying to deny it. But then there's the portion that are denying the love. They're denying to be one, is what I keep hearing. And then they said the same with here, because it's transformation. And then underneath it's your purpose. But they said like really how they wanted me to read them was, these people here, like the people that are in this energy, which is like the acceptance, they're transforming, they're in like a process of renewal. They maybe don't know that they are. Maybe they're just like, and maybe that's why they kept talking about, they kept talking about how like, don't give up, because like, and that's where they test your fate, and they keep using that word test. So that's where they're challenging your fate, or testing your not fate, your faith. Because you have to have that faith, even when you can't see it. That's why they keep talking about like the invisible. Because the invisible is many references that they keep bringing up. They keep talking about like, I am here, but I'm not here. You can, like kind of like I'm invisible, but I'm not invisible. Do you know what I'm saying? So, so that really is about the faith. So then they're saying, okay, so they're saying that people that are in this acceptance and in this process of transformation, or have maybe already transformed and are watching this saying, I wish I knew this 3 years ago or whatever. They're the ones that are answering the call. So these are the energies, like see the deer there, and the deer is, what is that about the deer? I can't remember. Anyway, do you see how she's going through the gate there? She's not restricting herself. She can come and go as she feels. So she's like, the time is now. I'm opening the door, Spirit. That's what they were trying to say. Because you know what? They started that in the earlier readings. And they're like, this is, they kept talking about the door, and that's what they're trying to refer to here, that God's opening the door. He has the door. And then, yeah, because they started that reading, actually, I don't know how many days back, and it really started with, when God closes a door, he opens a window. But then all the other cards that came out after that kept saying that God's got a door open. There's a door, there's a door, there's a door. Go through the door. Anyway, so that's what that, so they're like, these people are already like, they're like moving. So that's really good because they persevered. And now they're living in this freedom energy, because the more steps you go up, the more freedom you feel. And the more encouragement you get too. So then they're saying that the energy is down here, which is love in reverse, purpose in reverse. And then it even says you're just wandering on a path. And, they're trying to get you to enjoy the journey. And then, like, I brought this card up and I was talking about the reference of the map of the very beginning of the readings, when it was talking about how your guides and angels have the road map. Like, they have the map. You have it all mapped out for them, and they have that map so that they can guide you. Anyway, and then I didn't bring it up, but I did notice that, see the cunning fox? And if you go back in the videos, and it was the negative energy that was coming out on the one side, and it was talking about how it was a cunning fox, and it was referring to negative energy. They were just that's not what cunning fox means, but in that for that reading, they were referring to it as like this person was cunning and they were manipulating or people, because foxes don't usually live alone. So they were saying it could be individuals or it could be groups that were doing this, like, cunning, spying on you, like maybe that you, like your ex-partner or something had like his family spying on you too, right? Like befriending you and then spying on you and being all weird. Anyway, so this is where they're saying, like, watch out for that negative energy, because that negative energy will be around you if you're in low vibration. So they're going back to that low vibration, and they just want to do that as a reminder. And then, like, you don't need to be just wandering through life. And that's one of the cards that came up with the wheel, that the wheel was just aimlessly, like, rolling around, because it's a wheel and it's all it does is roll anyway. It's like it didn't have any kind of purpose or path. But then the card came out next to it. It's like, no, you have control. I can't remember what it was now, but I'd have to go back and rewatch the videos just to do all the comparisons that they keep reminding me of, because there are so many, like, literally it's blowing my mind. So then they said why they brought up this surrender is because they feel that though these energies are really heading in the right direction and are on the right path. And that's what they were talking about, that stop sign. They were like, that's why we were talking about the stop sign in that book, because they were saying if you went the left way, if you stay still, you won't transform at all. If you go to the left, you're going to go down this is wandering path, but they're saying to me the wrong path. Because remember when I said to you, like, if you get to the stop sign, you go left, it's a dead end, and you go right, it's the way out, it's the right path. And I didn't catch the symbolism that day or last night when I did the reading, but yeah, so when I was at the stop sign, it's like the stop sign meant death. So that means if you don't transform, you're just not going to exist, kind of thing. So you can either go left to a dead end, which is where you've probably been going for a long time. Perhaps maybe that's why you're here, because you're trying to find some kind of guidance or understanding of some sort. And then, or you go right. And when you go right, that means you're on the right path. So that's what they were trying to talk about with the surrender. That if you surrender, it's easier to find the right path. Because, like, for instance, they want me to give you something that I tend to do a lot, and I just didn't even realize it until they pointed it out. I bit my tongue. I pointed it out today. And they were saying how, just got to keep checking because I need a drink too. Doesn't take much to get me off because I'm so tired. They were talking about how everybody needs to be in the surrender. And the more you surrender, and I think you'll see a video where they had me sit down when I tried to take over the reading, and I wasn't surrendering my vessel for them to bring out the message, and I interfered with that message. And then, so the next reading, they had me sit down and acknowledge in front of everybody, like this is, like, even though they worked around me, like that's where they keep coming up with the ebb and flow. They worked with my energy to still get the message out, but they said the message would have been more profound